Welcome back to the Time Cabinet. Okay, so today you've given us a real classic mystery, just legendary stuff.
Absolutely. We're diving into the Alcatraz escape.
Exactly. And let me tell you, forget the movies. The reality we found in your sources, the articles, the investigations, it's way stranger, more compelling.
Oh, definitely. It kind of turns that whole inescapable idea completely on its head, doesn't it?
Totally. The sources you share, they paint this really stark picture, you know?
Ooh.
Alcatraz, this grim fortress against the sky.
Yeah, the ultimate symbol of confinement. But inside, these guys, they actually dared to, well, not just dream, but plan something huge.
An escape so audacious, people are still arguing about it, what, 60 years later?
Right. And we've waded through all of it, the official reports, the wild theories, the just unbelievable little details from that night.
All to get to the heart of it for this deep dive. So let's set the scene. Alcatraz Island. Just a rock for ages, right?
Yeah.
Windy, isolated.
Until someone thought, hey, perfect spot for the worst criminals.
Heh, yeah. And the message was clear. You go to Alcatraz, you're not coming back. Officially, anyway.
But the unofficial story, the one we're getting from your sources, that's where it gets interesting. It involves, like, unbelievable ingenuity.
Oh, yeah. We're talking raincoats, spoons. It's almost absurd. A real middle finger to the idea of impossibility.
And the key moment, it's laid out so clearly in the material, is that morning. June 12th, 1962, just a normal head count?
Routine stuff. Until a guard goes to wake an inmate, gives him a poke, nothing.
Another nudge.
Okay.
And then, boom.
Yep.
This head made of soap and actual hair just rolls onto the floor.
Can you imagine? One source called it a classic horror movie moment. Pure shock.
Utter chaos must have followed. And then they find two more cells with these dummy heads under the blankets.
Eerily lifelike, apparently. So alarms go off, lockdown, the hunt begins for Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, John and Clarence.
But who were these guys? The ones who looked at Alcatraz and thought, yeah, we can beat this.
Well, the info you provided paints a pretty clear picture. Frank Morris. IQ of a 133. That's, not insignificant.
Not at all. And he had a track record, 11 previous escapes. This wasn't his first rodeo.
One source called him the Houdini of the hardened criminal world. Catchy.
Definitely. Then you have the Anglin brothers, maybe less academically inclined, but strong, worked well together, and crucially, not snitches.
And here's a key bit from the sources because of good behavior, ironically enough.
Right.
The irony.
They end up in cells next to each other in 61. That wasn't luck.
No, it seems like it's part of the plan. Their goal was simple. Get out. And their tools, at first. Just like stuff from the mess hall. Spoons, glue they nicked.
Hair they swept up, and just sheer willpower, you have to assume.
It's almost funny, isn't it? This supposedly super secure prison turns into a secret workshop.
Behind the sinks, right. Those vents. For 6 months, they're chipping away at the concrete with spoons.
The dedication. Imagine the noise. I'm trying to cover that up. Well, the sources mentioned the prison's jazz hour. Apparently, even Al Capone played the banjo sometimes. Maybe that helped.
Could be. And while they're digging, they're also building something upstairs, hidden by laundry.
The raft. Made from, what, over 50 raincoats? And paddles from scrap wood.
Raincoats. Just wow. Who knew raincoats held the key to escaping Alcatraz?
But getting out of the cells, that was just step one, right? They needed time.
Exactly. Which is where those papier-mâché heads come in. Brilliant in a creepy way.
Crafted with supplies from art therapy. And real hair from the barbershop.
Good enough to fool the guards doing rounds with flashlights. It's this weird mix of art project and criminal mastermind stuff.
Michelangelo meets MacGyver, one source put it. Pretty accurate, actually.
So then comes the night, June 11th, 1962. Lights out, they've got less than 9 hours.
But there's a twist, isn't there? That other guy, Alan West?
Yeah. The sources kind of paint him as the Ross of the group, like in that sitcom. Seemed to be in on it, but...
Couldn't get his own wall open in time. Did he panic, or did they just leave him?
The sources don't give a clear answer, do they? It's another one of those lingering questions about him.
Meanwhile, Morris and the Anglins are gone. Through the tunnels.
Up a bakery pipe to the roof. Imagine that climb in the dark. Then down to the ground.
And their raft is waiting, inflated with a
harmonica.
Seriously?
Seriously, a harmonica? And then they just slip into the bay. Vanished. Guards have no clue until morning.
It reads like a movie script, honestly.
Then morning comes. Chaos. Absolute pandemonium, you'd imagine.
FBI descends on the island, and pretty soon stuff starts washing up. Belongings, a paddle, a life vest.
And this is the crucial part, your sources highlight no bodies, no raft.
Angel Island was nearby, mostly abandoned. That seems like the logical place they were heading for.
Makes sense. But those currents in the bay, notoriously dangerous. They could have swept way off course.
Right out to the Pacific, maybe. So the big question, freedom or did the Bay win?
The official line, as the documents show, is pretty clear. They drowned. Sharks, currents, hypothermia. Makes sense on the surface.
It's the logical, grim conclusion, but then you dig into the details you sent over.
Right. The sharks in the bay.
Eh.
Mostly smaller bottom feeders, not the Jaws type.
And the water, yeah, it's freezing, but people swim that channel every year, right? For fun, even.
Hundreds of them. And none end up drowned or eaten by sharks.
Right.
So it makes you wonder.
Is the official story just too neat, too convenient?
It does raise that question. Then there's other details that pop up later in the sources.
Like the reports, years later, about a raft found on Angel Island with footprints leading away.
Exactly. And a stolen car nearby, too. Why wasn't that bigger news at the time?
Bureaucracy. Or maybe, as some sources hint, a bit more deliberate, keeping things quiet.
It definitely adds to the mystery, the sort of foggy waters of law enforcement, as one article put it.
And the story just gets weirder from there, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. The alleged postcards sent to the Anglin's family in the 70s. Handwriting analysis suggested maybe, but nothing solid.
Then that photo from Brazil in '75. Supposedly the brothers, looking older.
But the guy who provided it was a known con artist, so how reliable is that?
Not very, you'd think. And don't forget the truck driver claiming he picked them up and then just shot them.
Bizarre. And zero evidence to back it up. Just another strange thread leading nowhere definite.
Every clue just seems to add another layer of uncertainty.
And here's another interesting point from your material. Alcatraz closed less than a year after the escape.
The official reason was cost, right? Too expensive to run.
That's the line. But some sources playfully suggest, maybe the escape was the perfect excuse. Shut down the prison that just proved it wasn't inescapable after all.
It's pure speculation, a conspiracy theory, basically. But it's tempting, isn't it, given the timing?
Absolutely. So, 60 years on, what do we actually know for sure, based on everything you've shared?
Well, no bodies found, ever. No definitive proof they survived.
But, just as importantly, no definitive proof they died either.
And incredibly, the U.S. Marshals still have the case open. They won't close it until the last one would have turned 100.
Think about that. They're still officially looking. It means somewhere, maybe, they just blended back into the world, lived quiet lives.
Or the Bay just keeps its secrets really, really well.
So Frank Morris, John, and Clarence Anglin, sipping caipirinhas in Brazil like some sources joke, were claimed by the currents that night.
The truth is just out there, somewhere, elusive. And maybe that's why the story's so captivating, right?
It's the perfect mystery, born from sheer guts and hidden in the San Francisco fog.
This whole story, pieced together from your sources, it really shows what people are capable of, doesn't it? Desperation, ingenuity.
It really makes you think, what lengths would you go to for freedom? What odds would you face?
A powerful thought. Well, thank you for bringing this amazing story to the Time Cabinet. It really hammers home how often the truth is just not clear-cut.
Absolutely. Makes you wonder what other impossible stories have secrets hidden away.
Definitely keeps us digging. Keep those fascinating sources coming. The deeper we go, the more interesting things get. Until next time.